Guten Tag, meine Damen und Herren.
It is with great pleasure and
Es
deep
ist mir eine
appreciation
große
that I
Freude Und ich bin auch sehr dankbar dafür, dass ich heute hier vor Ihnen stehe an der Seite seiner Exzellenz Frank-Walter Steinmeier, dem Präsidenten der Bundesrepublik Deutschland.
Of our bilateral discussions as part of his 3-day state visit to Ghana. This visit marks a significant milestone in the long-standing and exemplary relations between our two nations and reflects our shared commitment to deepening cooperation, friendship, and solidarity for the mutual benefit of our people. Our relationship spans several centuries, and since the formal establishment of diplomatic relations in 1957, year of Ghana's independence, it has grown steadily and significantly. Germany has remained a steadfast and reliable partner supporting Ghana's development through technical and financial cooperation in key sectors such as health, education, vocational and technical training, renewable energy, good governance, and peacekeeping. These interventions have contributed immensely to our institutional development, youth empowerment, and sustainable growth. During our extensive bilateral discussions this morning, President Steinmeier and I reviewed the current state of Ghana-Germany relations with great satisfaction, and we identified new and expanded pathways for our collaboration. We reaffirmed the strong bonds of friendship between our two countries, and these bonds are rooted in mutual respect, shared democratic values, human rights, the rule of law, and a common vision for peace, prosperity, and sustainable development. I briefed President Steinmeier thoroughly on Ghana's current economic situation and our Resetting Ghana agenda, which aims to restore macroeconomic stability, foster inclusive and sustainable growth, and tackle corruption, improve public financial management, and rebuild investor confidence in our economy. And I'm pleased to report that we're making tangible progress on this agenda, and the early signs are promising. I reaffirmed Ghana's strong dedication to creating an enabling environment to attract more German private framework of the African Continental Free Trade Area, which is headquartered here in Accra. The African Continental Free Trade Area offers unparalleled opportunities for German and other businesses to enter a market of over 1.3 billion population across the continent, with Ghana positioned as the strategic gateway and partner. Our discussions also focused on Germany's forward-looking Africa strategy under the Federal Ministry of Economic Cooperation and Development, which prioritizes sustainability, decent employment, gender equality, climate resilience, and peace and security. We've identified specific opportunities for stronger collaboration in renewable energy, green industrialization, digital transformation, and skills development. These sectors are crucial to Ghana's future, and they align with global sustainability objectives. I especially welcome the ongoing productive cooperation between Ghana's Ministry of Labor, Jobs and Employment, and several leading German companies to strengthen technical and vocational education and training for our young people. Both sides expressed optimism about the upcoming agreement on labor mobility, which will enable safe, respectful, and well-structured employment opportunities for young Ghanaian professionals in Germany while addressing skills shortages in key German sectors. Ladies and gentlemen, on regional and international topics, President Steinmeier and I had open and constructive discussions on peace and security in West Africa, particularly regarding the growing threats of terrorism, violent extremism, and political instability in the Sahel region. I briefed the President on Ghana's proactive diplomatic engagement to foster dialogue and rebuild trust and strengthen cooperation amongst our neighbors, including my recent appointment of a special envoy to the Alliance of Sahelian States to promote regional stability, cohesion, and integration. I wish to commend Germany's steadfast and principled support for regional peace and development in our sub-region. We also reviewed our strong cooperation in international peacekeeping. Ghana sincerely appreciates Germany's leadership in hosting the 2025 United Nations Peacekeeping Ministerial in Berlin, which promoted key reforms in global peacekeeping operations. Ghana, which had the honor of hosting the 2023 edition in Accra, looks forward to further collaboration to build institutional capacities, conduct joint training exercises, and leverage technology and innovation to address the emerging threats, including cyber insecurity and climate-related conflicts. Ghana is deeply concerned about recent actions that jeopardize the rule-based international order, especially the global trade system that has supported decades of prosperity and development around the world. The dismantling of established multilateral frameworks and the rise of unilateral protectionism threaten to plunge the world into economic instability, greater inequality, and conflict. I invite Germany to share Ghana's strong commitment to multilateralism, the United Nations system, the World Trade Organization, and international law. We'll urge all nations to resist the lure of economic nationalism and to collaborate in reforming, not dismantling, the institutions that unite us as a globe. The challenges of our era, climate change, pandemics, terrorism, migration, and poverty cannot be tackled by any one nation alone. They require our collective action, dialogue, and compromises. Regarding Africa's representation in global governance, Ghana continues its long-standing and legitimate demand for Africa's permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council. Africa, with 54 countries and over 1.4 billion people, remains the only inhabited continent in this world without a permanent representation on the world's most influential decision-making body. This historical injustice must be corrected. The African Union's Ezulwini Consensus and the CERT Declaration clearly express Africa's stance. The continent demands at least 2 permanent seats with veto power, along with additional non-permanent seats. Germany has consistently supported UN Security Council reform and Africa's rightful place at the table. I wish to commend President Steinmeier and the German government for this principled stand, and Ghana calls on all nations to move beyond rhetoric and take action to make the Security Council more representative, democratic, and legitimate. Ladies and gentlemen, the visit of President Steinmeier has been substantive and deeply symbolic. It reaffirms our shared aspirations for a renewed and elevated partnership between our countries. This is not just a partnership of governments, but increasingly one involving our private sector, civil society groups, youth researchers, and cultural institutions. The obstacles we face are significant, but so is our resolve and determination. In President Steinmeier, Ghana has found not just a partner, but a friend who recognizes that Africa's development is crucial to global peace and prosperity, and that genuine partnership must be based on equality, mutual respect, and shared benefits. On behalf of the government and people of Ghana, I extend our heartfelt appreciation and warmest gratitude to His Excellency Steinmeier, to his distinguished delegation, and the people of the Federal Republic of Germany for the honor of this visit and for Germany's enduring friendship and solidarity with Ghana and Africa. I wish President Steinmeier and his delegation safe travels as they continue their visit, including engagements with young IT specialists in Accra and a visit to our Ashanti region tomorrow. May God bless Ghana. May God bless Germany. May God bless the partnership between our two great nations. I thank you.
Personally would like to say to you that I am delighted to be back in Accra. If I'm right, this is my 4th visit to Ghana and to your beautiful capital. 2 visits I paid in a time where I happened to be in the position of Federal Foreign Minister and then a visit in my first term as federal president when I came here in 2017, and I am back today. We met more often, though, also personally, if I remember correctly, in 2015, when both of us attended a business summit that brought together Ghanaian and German representatives of industry and business. Then again, we met at the beginning of this year at the Munich Security Conference, and surprise, surprise, we met again, sitting side by side the day before yesterday on the opening event of the Grand Egyptian Museum in Cairo, a magnificent event, I have to say, and we both agreed on that, the President and I. However, it's not only about regular visits that we ought to pay each other, but it is much more that is at stake. Why have I decided to visit your country? It's easy to explain. Ghana is a lively democracy, the third largest economy in West Africa, and last but not least, as you pointed out in your statement, Mr. President, a committed regional actor. Playing an important part as a mediator, being a very important partner in that regard. And I'm delighted that after this very friendly and constructive exchange that we've just concluded, I look forward to more points on my agenda, my program during this visit to Accra, and then also later when I visit the capital of Ashanti, Kumasi, that is. President, you rightly pointed out that Ghana and Germany are linked and have been linked by a long-standing close partnership and friendship. To be honest, basically reaching back to the day that the country became independent. We're also celebrating the 50th anniversary of development cooperation between Ghana and Germany. Together, we're working to lay the foundation for a sustainable economic development that will benefit Ghana, but I hasten to add it will also benefit Germany. And I'm happy to say that today we've also been able to bring good news, good tidings, that of course pending on the approval of the German Parliament, the Bundestag, that is, euro to Ghana in the framework of our development cooperation, which equals more than 823 million Ghana CD. The details will be negotiated before the end of this month. But we are also very active when it comes to educating and training the young generation. That point was very important in our discussions today, because this is what we're focusing on, the young generation, be they employed in the health sector, the pharmaceutical industry, in the digital economy. We want to provide decent jobs for them. We cooperate in the field of enhancing energy efficiency and in the expansion of renewable energies. We also agreed today that in order to strengthen our partnership, we will in future have regular political consultations at senior level, touching on bilateral, regional and international matters of mutual concern and interest. This is in line with our desire to enhance and intensify our cooperation with key partners like Ghana, and also to expand it at the strategic level. As far as the economy is concerned, I'd like to underline that Ghana is an important trading partner for Germany in sub-Saharan Africa, one of the regions in the world that shows the very strong growth. Our trade balance is almost balanced, and the volume was increased last year by more than a quarter to 626 million euro. That is almost 8.3 billion CDs. We want to and can, as we agreed, to further expand the trade and benefit of the investment potential, of which I think that we haven't fully tapped it yet. This is why I invited representatives of important German companies to accompany me on my visit to Ghana. The members of my delegation include specialists in the area of the development and the building of infrastructure, down to high technology, satellite and medicine technology, and much more than that. Let me assure you that having talked to the business delegation as I came here on the plane, Ghana is already a very attractive location for many companies and a very important hub here in the region. a hub that allows you also to serve the markets in the vicinity, in the neighborhood here. And we have many advantages, speaking in your favor, that you wouldn't find elsewhere in Africa. The people here are well skilled. English is widely spoken, and also are raised into the time difference between Ghana and Europe is negligible. These are all factors that, taken together, make Ghana the ideal partner. But at the same time, it is also about providing perspectives for the quickly growing young population of Ghana. And I look very much forward to the opportunity of engaging with startup founders later today to hear more about their innovative ideas and services which they want to make available to Germany too. But our discussion did not only touch on economic issues, but we also spoke about science and skilled labor, which is a central element of our bilateral relations. Research is, for example, something that is very prominent in Kumasi, where we'll be tomorrow. At the Kwame Nkrumah University and around the university, you will find several major Ghanaian German research projects located. On the one hand, you have the Kumasi Center for Collaborative Research, the KCCR for Tropical Medicine. This is a very good case in point, and I look forward to engaging in an exchange of views with the research staff there who cooperate with the Bernard Nocht Institute for Tropical Medicine. And they work with the Bernard Nocht Institute and the Charité in Berlin in the development of vaccines aimed to prevent future epidemics. In the area of vocational training too, Ghana and Germany have been cooperating closely in order to cover the demand for skilled labor in both our countries. Tomorrow we will be attending the groundbreaking ceremony for a new building which is to be used for the training of people. This also includes a medical training school for nursing staff where 200 well-qualified care staff will be trained starting next year for the Ghanaian economy. The importance of this academic exchange for our bilateral relations is demonstrated by the fact that the German Academic Exchange Service opened an outpost at the beginning of this year, in April this year in Accra. Last year alone, roughly 1,500 young Ghanaian students, doctoral students, scientists and academics have been promoted in the framework of this activity. And if I may add, Mr. President, this interest that young Ghanaians show in Germany is something that we are very pleased to note. Allow me also to underline, ladies and gentlemen, the role that Ghana plays with regard to regional cooperation in West Africa. And I expressly welcome the fact that you, President Mahama, have assumed responsibility for regional cooperation and integration. We both agree that cross-border challenges like terrorism, transnational organized crime, and climate change too require cross-border responses. And this is just as true in West Africa as it is in Europe. The northern border region of Ghana is a case in point for this common approach. It borders on the central Sahel, which, as we all know, is hard hit by terrorism and instability. Germany, together with the European Union, is supporting efforts of the Ghanaian government that aim at creating long-term stability and development. And Germany has been cooperating closely with Ghana and ECOWAS. I paid a visit to the headquarters of ECOWAS last December, and actually talked about these common challenges, and our objective is to address them together. Allow me to conclude, ladies and gentlemen, by pointing to something that we unfortunately have been forced to highlight these days at joint press conferences, and that is our common commitment and engagement for multilateralism, because you can no longer take it for granted. We both agree that a rules-based international order is what we need to stem conflicts, to prevent them wherever possible. And this international order can only rest on the principles of the Charter of the United Nations. Dear colleague, dear Mahama, the exchange with you has provided me with the opportunity to also talk about reform proposals for the international order. Again, here we have a lot in common. Germany supports the so-called Isolvini consensus, the demand for 2 permanent and further non-permanent seats on the Security Council of the United Nations for African countries. And with the foreign ministers of the G4 countries of Brazil, Germany, India, and Japan, that is, the foreign ministers of these 4 countries have reaffirmed that in the framework of the General Assembly in September this year. Mr. President Mahama, there are many tasks that we need to address together bilaterally. I very much look forward to continuing with friendly cooperation with you and your country, and I'm sure there's a lot of potential that we can both tap with regard to our relations, and I am convinced we will do the best in that regard. Thank you.